Hi everyone, it's Chrissie and welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. So today we're actually building in Oasis Springs and we're going to be building a base game home. Now I haven't done a completely base game build in quite a while. I think the last sort of restricted pack build that I did was the realistic family home that I did in Willow Creek, and that build was actually base game and high school years. So if you missed that, I'll leave it linked up on the screen. But basically this build is completely base game only. So I don't think I used it. I didn't even use the free holiday pack that usually I do consider to be part of the base game because it's a free pack, so literally anyone can get it. If you own the base game, then you can download the free holiday pack from Origin or the EA app or wherever you play, and it isn't just PC either, so it's free on consoles as well. So usually when I do a base game build, I do tend to use that pack just because it has a couple of decorative items that I usually find kind of useful, even if I'm not building a holiday house. But this build is completely base game only, so I didn't use the free holiday pack, I didn't use anything else, it's just the base game. And it's also a family home, so it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, or technically 2.5 bathroom family home. And there's downstairs, actually there's a half bath, so a toilet and a sink. And then upstairs we have the main bedroom that has an ensuite. And then we also have a bigger family bathroom with a shower and tub and sink and all of that stuff. But I did cut out me doing the bathrooms because they're base game and they're bathrooms, so yeah, they're not very interesting and they're not big or fancy or anything like that, so I didn't really see a need to include them in the footage. And also I built this just before the bathroom clutter kit came out, so obviously I wasn't using that kit because I built it before we had it, and it's also base game. So honestly, the bathrooms are just really boring. They're basically your bog standard bathrooms that I do in every single build. So yeah, I cut them out of the footage, so if you want to see them, I do include them in the screenshots at the end though, so yeah, just stick around for that. I think I also cut out a couple of other things, there's the really weird kind of hallway area upstairs that basically it's just a little hallway that has a bookcase and then 3 doors, 2 doors, 2 bedrooms, and then a door to a bathroom. So I cut that out. I think it's really boring. But like I said, everything is in the screenshots at the end, so yeah, feel free to stick around for that. And then also just a couple of other kind of tedious things, like placing those wooden planks around the border of all of the flower beds and around all of the grass and paving areas. I cut a lot of that out because it was just literally me placing down wooden planks and moving them really precisely to make them look like one border, which very boring to watch, so I cut that out, but you get the gist of it. And I did playtest it, and your Sims can actually walk over those wooden planks as well, so they don't obstruct anything. They're actually debug items, and I used Twisted Mixie's Better Build By mod, in case you guys didn't know, which basically it names all of the debug items. So you can search for them like you would search for regular in-game items. So to find that plank, all I did was I typed in wood plank gen, and there are a couple of different wooden planks in the debug menu and in the live edit menu that come from various different packs. Base game even has a couple, but you have to very specifically look for the one that has gen in the name, GEN, because that is actually the only one that your Sims can walk over, so that doesn't obstruct their routing. So yeah, basically I used that debug plank to kind of edge off like all of the borders of the grass, of the paving. I don't know, it just made the house feel a little bit more, I guess, finished. And especially because we're building in Oasis Springs, obviously I didn't really want the whole house to just be on like the desert sand. I wanted some grass. And for me, usually if I just use like grass terrain paint in the front yard and don't have a very like clear border for like your Sims's grass, like, you know, lawn space, it just looks so weird because the rest of the world is very sandy. So yeah, using those planks for that kind of made a very nice man-made clear border that made it make a little bit more sense. But yeah, so that's something that I just thought I should mention in case you guys want to try out that trick for yourselves. But yeah, so talking a little bit more about the house. So we've already moved on to the interior, and as you can see, I did all of the wallpapers and flooring off camera. I basically just used a lot of the exterior wallpaper on the interior as well. I wanted to do this a little bit more of like a modern build because doing a modern base game house isn't something that I do all that often. And if I do a base game build, they're usually like suburban. I've done a couple of like more Victorian type builds, and I think I've done a couple of like mid-century base game builds as well, but I don't tend to try and do like a modern or like contemporary build like this one. So basically I wanted I wanted the interior to match the exterior. And a lot of the wallpapers and stuff that we have in the base game, especially like interior wallpapers and stuff, are all very, very traditional looking. They all have these really big like crown molding, and a lot of them are paneling and wood and stuff, and it just looks so out of place. So the majority of this house is actually just plain like white plaster walls, kind of like a little bit of like a textured plaster, which I think looks really, really nice. And then we just have these accent walls of these like vertical wooden panels that we actually have on the exterior as well. So it kind of ties the interior and the exterior together really nicely. And we have a lot of concrete floors downstairs. I think upstairs I used like black wooden floorboards, even in the bedrooms. So even in like the kids' bedrooms, I used black wooden floorboards. And then obviously I just use a bunch of like colorful rugs and stuff in the kids' rooms. But yeah, so that's basically like the wooden, like the flooring and wallpapers and stuff. And then for the color scheme, I also wanted to keep it a little bit more neutral, just because, like I said, a lot of the base game items, and stuff like that are very traditional and very colorful. A lot of the base game swatches especially are incredibly colorful and saturated, and it's very hard to use a lot of the base game swatches because, like I said, they're very colorful and they don't really match anything. A lot of them don't even really match each other, so it's kind of annoying if you're trying to use those items. But yeah, so a lot of the newer stuff though that we've gotten in updates and stuff like that to the base game, like these console tables, those were actually created by Peacemaker, and they were part of the, I think, 20th anniversary of the Sims franchise update that we got, where they kind of like collabed with custom content creators to put some of their custom content into the game itself. So we have those console tables that I just used the tool mod to lower into the floor. They were actually created by Peacemaker. The bar stools, the dining room table, and the dining room chairs, I think, were all created by Harry. And yeah, I used a lot of those like newer items that we've gotten over the years in this build, just because they look a little bit nicer than most of the items that we got in like 2014 when the base game came out. And like the textures and stuff on them are also a lot nicer. So yeah, I don't know, I used a lot of the modern items that, I don't know, I use these items quite a lot in my regular builds as well. not the like really old base game stuff, but a lot of the newer stuff that we've gotten in updates, like, you know, that desk and, you know, the desk chair that we've gotten, and all of those like collab items with CC creators and, you know, stuff like that. I use those items a lot in my normal builds as well because they do look really, really nice. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with this build. It was kind of fun to try and do a style that I'm not, you know, usually I try and avoid modern builds even with all of the packs, just because modern builds for me personally are really hard because I tend to like cluttering up stuff a lot. I have a really hard time just accepting the fact that not every corner of a house or not every wall like needs something on it. It's okay if you have like a fairly plain wall that doesn't have like a million pictures on it, or, you know, have like a big room, a big open spacious room that doesn't have clutter everywhere, or, you know, stuff like that. It's really hard for me to build that way and kind of like think it looks good. So, for example, if someone else does it, I always think it looks good, but for some reason I always feel like I can't pull it off myself, and if I try and do it, something always just feels off for some reason. So yeah, doing modern builds definitely is a little bit out of my comfort zone. And then also, like I said, doing base game builds isn't something that I do all that often. So occasionally I'll get like the urge to do base game builds and I'll do like 2 or 3 of them in a row, and then I'm like over that urge and I want to use all of my packs again. But yeah, like I said, I really enjoyed this build. I really like the way it turned out as well. Like I said, went for a very neutral kind of color scheme. So we have a lot of black, obviously, because the outside of the house we have all of the black windows and the black paneling and stuff. But I also wanted to incorporate this kind of like warmer wood as well, like lighter, warmer wood that we have on the exterior and that we used in the interior as like accent walls. So I wanted to use that kind of like similar wood color for a lot of the furniture, and I really like the way that looked. So normally if I use like black wood in a build, I won't use like a light wood with it. But for some reason in this build, I really liked the way it looked. I also used a bunch of like gray swatches and white, obviously. And then I also kind of pull in a couple of these like darker blue accents, especially in the rugs and stuff that I use. So yeah, the main bedroom, like the parents' bedroom, they definitely have this whole like neutrals and blue color scheme going through it. And then obviously we have the 2 kids' rooms, who they're very similar to the rest of the house actually. So a lot of the furniture is obviously different, but the walls and flooring and stuff like that, I think all match the rest of the house. I don't think I did any like colorful accent walls in any of the kids' rooms. I don't think anyway. I built this quite a while ago, like at least like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and I can't really remember exactly what I did because I've done quite a few builds, you know, after this one that kind of makes it difficult to remember. But I know I used a bunch of other colors for like furniture and stuff in the kids' rooms, so you'll see that once we get to it. But basically the way the rooms are set up, we have upstairs, we have this really long kind of like almost skinny bedroom that's actually right over top of the garage. Now the garage is it's not really a necessary room. You could easily convert it into something else, but in there I just put a decorative car. I put down a couple of, you know, decorative items, you know, to kind of look like storage and stuff. But I also put down a couple of like fitness equipment things. So I put down a treadmill and a boxing bag. So it is a functional space. Your Sims do have a reason to use it. But obviously you could really easily renovate the garage and turn it into something more functional. I really needed the garage on this house to make the exterior look the way that I wanted it to. But yeah, so we have the bedroom over top of the garage, and that bedroom is actually a bedroom for 2 teenagers. So in my head, they were teenagers. Basically, the room has bunk beds, and the way I decorated it is definitely a little bit more like teenager-y rather than childlike, because I didn't put any toys in there or any like kind of like kid items. It's very much like teenager style in my head anyway. But yeah, so we have that room that's kind of like for 2 teenagers. And then we have the toddler bedroom that's really close to the main bedroom. So it's like right opposite the parents' bedroom. And that bedroom is, like I said, for a toddler. The teenager room is a little bit more similar to the rest of the house in like color scheme. So I used a lot of black. I used a lot of blue in their bedroom as well, but I also used red. So it's kind of like a black, blue, and red color scheme. And it looks really, really nice. But honestly, for kids and teenager stuff, we're really, really restricted with the base game. There isn't a lot for those like age ranges, especially when it comes to decorative items. It's kind of really restrictive. So I just try to make the best of, you know, what I had to work with. But yeah, so for the toddler room, it's definitely a little bit more different. So we have obviously the black floorboards, the like regular wallpapers like the rest of the house. But that bedroom is a lot more like pink, and I think I used pink and not pink, but like purple, I think it was. I used a purple and like mint swatch for the bed, for like the toddler bed. And then I kind of just based the rest of the bedroom off of that. So it's a very like almost pastel kind of room. So there's a lot of white, there's a lot of like mint greeny color, and then purples and stuff like that. So yeah, it's really cute. It definitely stands out if you look at the house like from top down view. It definitely stands out compared to the rest of the house. But honestly, for me personally, whenever I play, that always happens with kids' rooms. My kids' rooms like never match the rest of the house, like the style or the colors of the rest of the house. And honestly, I do feel like that's realistic, because if you have a very neutral house, you're not necessarily going to like continue those colors and stuff into your kids' bedrooms as well, especially once they turn into like children or teenagers and they develop their own like likes and dislikes and stuff. You're kind of gonna let them decorate their own room to an extent. Obviously, you're not going to like let a 5-year-old choose their own like wall color, but you're kind of gonna allow them to like maybe like choose their own bedspread or toys or stuff like that. So I don't know, that just, it looks very realistic to me. So yeah, I didn't mind the way that turned out. But yeah, that's basically the entire interior of the house. We're currently working on the teenager's bedroom, and as you can see, very dark. It's kind of a little bit darker than the rest of the house, but again, I felt like that fitted pretty well with the whole like teenager idea. And then the backyard of the house just has a pool, a couple of lounge chairs, a bar, a grill, and I think I put down a monkey bars as well, which kind of doesn't really make sense if, you know, you go with the idea of this house having 2 teenagers and a toddler. But obviously maybe the kids like lived in this house when they were children, so the monkey bars would have been like useful for them then. And then obviously the toddler is also going to age up into a child and need something to play with, so we have the monkey bars. Now I do want to mention, you will see that I do currently have a bed in the toddler's room from Eco Lifestyle. But I did remember later on, basically I did this over a couple of days, and when I came back to it to like do the toddler room, I forgot that this was supposed to be just base game. So originally I did put down a toddler bed from Eco Lifestyle, but then I remembered, so I deleted it. We're using something from base game, don't worry. But yeah, so that's basically the entire build. Like I said, outside, the regular backyard items. I think I might have put down a telescope. I'm not sure. Honestly, I don't think I did. I think I might have forgotten to put down a telescope, but I do know that I put down the monkey bars, obviously outdoor bins, and then I think I put down a couple of planter pots as well. But I think that's everything. So yeah, obviously you guys can change this up to fit whatever Sims you have and that you're playing with. And obviously if you have other packs as well, you can also, you know, add stuff to it. So on the second floor, in that little like entryway area, I talked over it completely when we were doing it. But that area is kind of like not really like an office, but it's kind of like a skill room. So there's just a couple of couches, but there's also a like chess table and not a violin, a big like grand piano in there as well. There's also a games table, so your Sims can play some games together, like cards and Don't Wake the Llama and stuff. So there are a couple of activities in this house. There's also, like I said, you know, obviously the big TV downstairs. There's a desk downstairs with a computer. But obviously, you know, you can add stuff to this if you have like other packs and you want like other skill building items in the build, then, you know, feel free to change it up to, you know, suit your needs and your Sims and all of that stuff. You also have the garage as well that, like I said, you could easily turn into maybe another bedroom. Maybe you want to turn it into a office or, you know, an actual like skill area. So you could put a bunch of skill building items in there. You could also really easily add laundry to this house as well. There's, like I said, tons of space in the garage if you want to add in a couple of laundry machines, laundry baskets, you know, all of that stuff. But yeah, like I said, obviously change it up to fit your needs. And it is up on the gallery if you want to download it. It is up on the gallery under my gallery ID, which is ChrissieYT. You can also find all of that information, like my gallery ID, the hashtags you can use to search for it, all of that stuff in the description, as well as the exact lot that I built this on. I can't remember the lot name off the top of my head, but I'll put that in the description. And, you know, the price of the build, all of that stuff. It's on a 30 by 20 lot, I do know that, but I can't remember the exact lot name. I think it might be in the top left hand corner, but I can't see it. It's too small on my screen right now. I think it's like maybe it might be Vista Quarry, but I don't think it is. But either way, it'll be in the description, the correct name. And I'll also have a direct download link to the gallery website down below. And then obviously tray files will be going up for channel members. But yeah, I think that's everything that I wanted to mention about the build. So yeah, I think. Oh no, I wanted to mention that this build, the idea for this build, is actually something that I saw a video that 𝘕𝘂𝘭𝘰𝘐 did with a big modern base game build. I think it might have been a month ago at this point. I haven't actually watched the entire video. I just saw the thumbnail in my subscription feed. And I've been meaning to watch that video, but that kind of like inspired this whole build. So I'll leave 𝘕𝘂𝑗essica's video down below because it looks like an absolutely gorgeous build. It also looks a lot bigger than this one. And I think she built it in Willow Creek. But yeah, I'll leave that video down below in case you guys want to go ahead and check it out. And then another thing that I want to mention, this is going up on Saturday, and I'm actually running a giveaway over on Twitter. And I'm giving away a PC/Mac code for both the 𝘕𝘖𝘛 collection kit and the bathroom clutter kit that we got, I think, last week. So I'm giving away both of those codes to one winner. And the way you can enter it is just go to the link that I'll have in the description. I'll also pin it to the comment section. But it's basically a tweet, and all you have to do is like the tweet and retweet it, and then you're good to go. And that giveaway is actually going to be closing on Monday, so the 30th of January, and it closes at 10 AM Pacific time. But I'll have all of this information in the description as well. It's also in the tweet, so just go ahead, check it out if you want to stand a chance to win both of those kits. But yeah, that's just something that I thought I should mention because this video is going up before that ends. So yeah, definitely go ahead, check that out. But like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this build. If you did, give the video a like. If you're new to the channel and you'd like to see some more Sims content, feel free to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell as well to be notified of whenever I upload a new video. But yeah, so the next couple of videos are probably going to be a little bit more pre-recorded. So if we get any news or anything like that and I don't talk about it in those videos, that will be why. It's because I'll record the voiceovers before we get the news. But anyway, with all of that said, I hope you guys are all having a great day and a great weekend, and I'll talk to you in my very next video. Bye everyone.
I think that I'm going to hiding somewhere by a gated star. Baby, they ain't never gonna find me. I'm a renegade. I could be the one who saved you from this hard place. We could be as one and we'll escape. We could run away, we don't gotta stay. I can feel it, it burns inside me. Take away the pain, we can go insane. I can feel it, it burns inside me. We could run away, we don't gotta stay. I can feel it, it burns inside me. Take away the pain, we can go insane. Trust me, I won't let you down. I won't let you down. Yeah, I won't let you down. I won't let you down. Oh, I won't let you down. We could have the world to ourselves, going to a place that's far, staring at the stars for hours, 'cause you're a renegade. I could be the one who saved you from this hard place. We could be as one and we'll escape. We could run away, we don't gotta stay. I can feel it, it burns inside me. Take away the pain, we can go insane. I can feel it, it burns inside me. We could run away, we don't gotta stay. I can feel it, it burns inside me. Take away the pain, we can go insane. Trust me, I won't let you down. I won't let you down. Yeah, I won't let you down. I won't let you down. Oh, I won't let you down. Some gates never get to open 'cause it's too late. I could be the one who saves you from this place. Baby, they ain't never gonna find me, find me, find me.